Okay. Just like starting our maze project, we're going to start with a square. And the first time I talked to you about depth lines, I had you draw what you imagine to be a cube. And we drew something like this, right? Okay. These lines right here indicated which of the three dimensions? Somebody tell me. We had height, we had width, and then that added depth. Okay? So we have those three dimensions, hence 3D. But this is not true perspective. Okay? This is close to 1 point perspective. So with your square that you just drew on your paper, we're going to put a point out, up and to the right, the same basic direction we did with the maze. We went up and to the right. But this time, those three corners that can see this point, this dot, this vanishing point, we're going to draw lines from those corners to that dot, like this. And that gives us 1 point perspective. Okay? Okay, when we want to finish this, we want to use parallel lines. So this is critical. This is an easier object, so it's much easier to learn on this. This top line right here connects these two vanishing lines, right? So, parallel to that is how we will finish those two lines. So this line and the line that ends that top will be parallel in their relationship. This point right here, this corner, is now identified as right here. So we would go straight down parallel to this to finish this side. And then when you remove the extra vanishing line, you get your shape. And that would be true 1 point perspective. Okay? Okay, let's try a little more complicated image. Okay, let's try a 5-point star. Raise your hand if you can come up here and draw me the perfect 5-point star. No? All right, let's do a little cheat here. This is just one way that you can draw a star. Hopefully you're all still familiar with the clock face, right? We're not all completely digital. So you have 12 and 6, 3 and 9, then 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. You guys with me? Okay, some quick math. 5-point star. How many minutes are there in an hour? 60. 60. What's 60 divided by 5? Oh. It's 12. So, on our clock face, we are going to put a red dot every 12 minutes. So I'd go to 12, I'd go to 24, I'd go to 36, I'd go to 48, and I'd go to 60. Okay? Then I simply start connecting those lines. And look what I get. A nice pretty star, right? I can take out those interior lines. And it does a pretty good job for me, doesn't it? So that's just one little cheat when you're trying to draw a good star. Now that we have our star, we want to put it in 1 point perspective. So using that clock face mentality, somebody give me a time on the clock face that we want to shoot those vanishing lines to. Where on the clock face do we want the lines to go? What are you thinking?
4.
4? So maybe like down here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our vanishing point right here. Any corner that can see this without looking through the image, we want to draw. Okay? Can this point right here see this without any interruption? Sure. So I draw a line. How about that corner right there? Yeah? How about this point? Okay. How about this point? No? what happens? You're right. Why can't we draw that line down here? Because we'll chop that side of the star off, won't we? But it should be drawn, but what should we do with it? Where should we stop? We stop when we hit the object itself. So it comes down like this, then stops. Okay? What about this point right here? Can it see this point clearly? It's close, isn't it? With a ruler, we'd be able to tell better. We're going to pretend like we can, and we'll just draw it. What about these 3 points? No, because as soon as you start drawing, where are you at? In the image. We can't do that. Okay? Now, the hard part about this star is how do we finish it? We did the parallel lines with the square. That was pretty simple, right? Just parallel, not too tough. The star is a little more involved. So I'm going to pick a point. I'm going to pick this point and this point, and the line that connects those two vanishing lines is this line, right? So if I come down here a little ways, I can draw a line parallel to the line that connects them on the other end. That gives me a starting point. Now I've established this point right here. So now from this point, I come out this direction. Pretty simple, right? At that point, I've got to draw this line. This is where it gets a little more involved. Anybody want to take a guess at where this line gets drawn? Right now, we're up to this. We got to draw this line here, somewhere back here. Okay, here's your hint. This point right here and this point right here have a relationship. Okay, if I were to draw a line to connect those 2 points, that's the line they're on, right? Well, we know where this point is right down here. So if we parallel that down and draw that same line, where it crosses back here, that is this point. Everybody see how I did that? I found the point. Now, from that point, the line goes this way, so I go that same way until it hits the already existing line. So when I'm done, I can take out those green relationship lines, get those out, and we can get all this junk off here. And that is what your vanishing lines would look like for that star. Okay? Just figuring out where the points are with relationships to the points that we've already discovered is how you find those places. All right?